Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. You know what? I'm kicking this off a little early because, well, we're supposed to get some really bad weather here later, and I want to be outside in my outdoor studio because, well, let's face it, I love being out here, even with the damn cicadas making all that noise. Hopefully you don't hear it because, well, you really need to be close to the microphone, and let's hope none of those cicadas are anywhere close to the microphone. You know I love my draft music. I love my draft music, but we're going to change the name of this. If you have an idea or a suggestion on what we call our theme music that originally my man Ron Oliver made for the draft specifically, I just can't get rid of this. It's just that damn good. If you've got a name to come up with it, please, by all means, leave it in the comments. And so we're here early because we have a lot of news on the Dallas Cowboys from OTAs, and I'm gonna go ahead. It's about to stop. There we go. It has now stopped. We actually have a lot of news from today from OTAs, and I want to make sure I bring it to you guys, right now because, you always want to be up to speed on your Dallas Cowboys. I had a video that's, only been out for about an hour or so about Leighton Vander Esch, who went up and actually got an interception of Dak Prescott in practice. I know people are going to go crazy. Oh, Dak throwing interceptions. We shouldn't have signed. I know the haters are going to be out, but we talking about practice. And here's the thing about practice. In practice, you'll try things that are new and different, and you'll take more chances because it's practice, not a game now. We're talking about practice. And so I'm not concerned about an interception in practice as much as I was when I heard that Leighton Vander Esch, after said interception, laid on the ground and had two, not one, but two trainers there with him. Leighton Vander Esch kind of reminds me, it's like with Tony Romo, when Tony Romo got late into his career, or with Sean Lee. You know how when you're on the internet, there's always those things that spark your interest, most dangerous bridges in the world and all that. And I clicked on one of those things. And, you go down the rabbit hole because the one that they sold you on, you never see, or it's the very last one. And you click in there and they got an image of one, and then there's so many different things around there that you're hoping that you'll click on that'll take you someplace else that you mess up, But I went on one of those yesterday because it was showing like some of the craziest bridges in the world. And a couple of these bridges you looked at, if you're going over, you got to, every time you go over or see somebody go over, you have to worry, is this going to be the last person that makes it across or the last time before this thing falls apart? And that was the feeling that I had with Tony Romo. Every time Tony Romo would start scrambling, it was either going to be an incredible touchdown pass, it was going to be, a Tony oh-no, or Tony was going to get hit and you were worried he wasn't going to get back up. And that's the feeling you have when Leighton Vander Esch, when you heard Leighton Vander Esch went down in practice, it's like, oh, hell, is this the last time somebody crossed that bridge? Fortunately, it was just him getting the wind knocked out of him, and he's fine. But that brings you, when you start worrying about a guy every time he gets hit, getting hurt, you got some problems there. So we have that. Coming back from injury, one La'el Collins. La'el Collins, let me see if I've got let me see, where is it? Yeah, let's change the camera angles here. I wish I had a producer that was actually here to go ahead and bring all this stuff up for me. But, so that way we can get the graphics, we get the camera angles. So all I have to do is look for the red light. But La'el Collins, talking about his nagging injuries, okay? La'el Collins felt nagging hip injury when training camp for last season, when he went to training camp, led to surgery. I'm just starting to feel like myself again. All the hard work is definitely paying off. Limited until training camp on a precautionary note, but I'm pretty much doing everything. And the thing is with him is his weight is down to about 313. And if you've seen some of the videos with him and Dak Prescott and him working out, he looks like he's really slimmed down quite a bit, which will be a good thing. And that was one of the things that, if, Mike Fisher was talking about led to the injury was because the nagging hip injury during the course of the summertime with COVID and not being able to work with the team and the trainers like usual, that the extra weight that he was carrying led to more problems and thus him missing the season. So from that standpoint, you've got to love hearing that he is slimmed down, that he's feeling good and no after effects, because the truth of the matter is, as much as we think about the wide receivers and the running backs and all that, it all really comes down to the offensive line. And on a different note from Lyle Collins says he trained with Dak Prescott a lot this offseason, and he says from day one to now, it's like night and day, and adds, even when it was tough, he pushes through it. It gives him chills. He's a big-time leader and says, I will protect him at all costs. And you can't ask for anything more than that. That speaks volumes that these guys are ready to run through a brick wall for their quarterback. That's leadership, and that, my friends, is love. I don't know if you've ever been on a football team before where you've had, some arrogant SOBs. I won't talk about, the junior quarterback that we had my senior year, but, he wasn't well liked. And in the last game of the season, we decided to give him the lookout block. We let the guys on the other side of the ball know we're not going to block you. It's a pass play. And when the ball was snapped, we turned and we said, look out. Because we didn't give a rat's ass about him, and we were out of there. This is a different story, of course, for Dak Prescott, that these guys really and truly love him and love his leadership, and they're ready to go to the mat for him. In other news, this is where I'm beginning to start digging what's going on. Shout out to my man Law Nation, who ended up actually having this picture right here where you're looking out an airplane window, and you see my man C.D. Lamb jumping up into the clouds, and he literally just about jumps up into the clouds. I dare say that the Dallas Cowboys right now are developing a swagger. He's got a pink bracelet that says, get your popcorn ready. And I believe that C.D. Lamb will back it up. For C.D. to have the rookie season that he had that was cheated, I believe that he had a chance to be Rookie of the Year had Dak Prescott stayed healthy. Justin Jefferson, not to take anything away from him, his 1,400 yards were freaking insane, especially with Kirk Cousins throwing to him. But I believe C.D. Lamb could have had that kind of impact as well had Dak still been here, but there's nothing we can do about that. We can only deal with getting our popcorn from right now forward, and that's a guy who is definitely feeling it. For me, I always believe that if you don't think that something can happen, if you don't believe that it can happen, chances are it probably won't. It's not about being arrogant. It's about being convinced. There's a difference. When you're convinced that you will succeed and not just expect it to just fall in your lap, when you believe that it can work, you will bring heaven and earth together to try and realize your dreams, if you're that kind of guy. As opposed to others that just think, I'm just supposed to be there because, I'm here part of it. I believe that these guys are working their ass off and getting a swagger on there. As far as our DBs, we have an AB sighting of Anthony Brown. Anthony Brown, his rookie year, started out not real good, but proceeded to get better as the season went on. Late round draft pick, was actually his rookie year one of the better cornerbacks in the NFL. Now, he's had an up and down career, but right now it looks like he has the inside track to be the starter opposite Diggs. And that speaks volumes. Although we're just early in June at the last practice of week 2 before we start mandatory mini camp next week. And it's going to be interesting to see on some of these other teams where guys have been missing if they actually show up. But another part to this There we go. Boom. Terrell Basham. Terrell Basham on joining the Dallas Cowboys. It's definitely going to be a new chapter from the last chapter, but it's the same book. The Book of Bash. We're still in the same book. And it's one thing I like to tell people. It's the same shit, just a different toilet. So, what was the last chapter? It's definitely going to be a new chapter from the last chapter, but it's the same book. The Book of Bash. Okay, so what was the last chapter of the Book of Bash? We're still in the same book, and it's the one thing I like to tell people. It's the same shit, just a different toilet. I think he's saying he's going to come in and fuck some people up. That's the only thing I can infer from that. I think he's saying they're going to come in, they're going to mess some people up. That's all I can take from it. You tell me. You tell me different. I don't know. That's all I can infer from that. That's all I can infer from it. If you've got something different on that, please let me know. But what I will say is, it seems like we're not Babe Ruth pointing to the outfield here saying we're going here, but we're letting you know we're out here to perform. Now, if you think that this is arrogance, please, by all means, let me know if you think it is, if they're getting too cocky or feeling themselves too much. I think a little bit of an edge and a little bit of attitude and a little bit of confidence goes a long way when you go out on the field, as opposed to being scared to death. I'd rather have some guys that feel a little pumped up, not to be showboaty. There's a difference here. You know, it's a difference of going out there to do the swipe and stuff like that when you gave up a first down. But it's another thing to be confident about what your ability is and what you can do. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm a homer. I don't know. You leave in the comments what you think on that one. Finally, an interesting thing, because I spoke about Randy Gregory this morning in my morning video, and saying, you know, we've got a lot of hope for a guy that's got 10 and a half sacks in 4 seasons because of, and I'm not saying he you know, didn't perform when he was out there. For the most part, he did. He averaged the last 2 seasons about almost 0.4 sacks every game. So every 2.25 games, he was getting a sack. Not setting the world on fire, but by all means, for a guy who really hasn't had training camps and things like that, you know, finally now having some peace from the NFL of not being chased for passing the Dutchie from the left-hand side, that maybe this offseason being able to have a full offseason and not looking over his shoulder will give him the chance to learn a lot from these coaches that are truly teaching a lot, as well as being able to just let it rip, being relaxed, being at ease, being at peace on the field, and making it not peaceful for quarterbacks. And that's one of the things that Mike McCarthy basically said, that he's primed to become a premier player. And I believe that myself, and I can't wait to see him on the field. I can't wait to see all of my Dallas Cowboys on the field. But a couple hours from now, guys, I'll look at that clock. At 8:20, it will no longer be 98 days until kickoff against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It will actually be 97 days, 23 hours, and 59 minutes. So you know the deal. Coach here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Sports Report.
You did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys?
I'll see you